Alright, what is going on, guys? It's KBeaZy, and today I'm gonna show you how to cook a beat for FBG Wookie or Future. So yeah, I've been sending beats to FBG Wookie, and last night he hit me up and asked me for my contact info and said we gotta work. So I figured I'd show you guys the type of beats I make for him and the type of beats he usually raps on. If you don't know him, he got signed to Free Bandz not too long ago, and he released a mixtape with features from Future, Young Thug, etc. And I don't know, I really like his music. So also follow my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at KBeaZyTHEGoD. I'm always posting updates on there for you guys. So if you add me on all three of those social medias, you'll never miss out on updates and videos, stuff like that. If you guys want any of the sounds used in this video, the links to my drum kit and my mixing kit are right down there in the description. So click those links and you can get all the sounds you need. That's pretty much it. Let's get into the video. So to start off, I'm here in Omnisphere, and I found this little bell sound, organic bells 2, and then I'm going to make a little melody. Alright, so that's my main melody. I'm just going to add some reverb to it and EQ it a little bit. So I'm just going to add this reverb, turn it down a little bit, and then I'm going to open up an EQ. I'm also going to add a fruity filter on it. Just to make it sound a little bit more ambient, so now I'm adding that counter melody. Hold up, I'm gonna record this. Give me a minute. I'm gonna record this so my CPU isn't so taken up by the Omnisphere. So I'm just going to solo the Omnisphere, hit record on play, and then hold up, there we go. So what I just did is I recorded the Omnisphere into Edison. It's the same exact melody. I just don't want it to use my CPU since I'm recording in OBS at the same time. So now it should be good. I'm just going to put the pattern 1 in with the sample I just made, and then here we go. And I'm just going to copy the first melody again over into here and get a bell pad. I'm going to cut some of the highs out and cut the lows as well. Alright, so that's a good melody for like a FBG Woo type beat. Then I got these sounds here for my drum kit. Trap Galaxy Volume 1, which by the way the link is in the description, so if you want to buy that, then go ahead and get all these sounds. So now I'm just going to lay down some basic drums. And I'm going to drag the out knob of the hi-hat up a little bit so it's a tighter hat, and then I'm going to pitch it down by clicking the root note on D sharp. And then what I did is I layered this snare from my kit with the snap from my kit to give it more bounce. And then I have this perk here as well. Then I got my open hat. Now for the Spins 808, I'm just going to go in and drag the out knob to make it a little shorter. And then here we go. Now I'm just going to add the kick. Also, I'm going to change this 808 back to right here. Now I'm just going to copy all of the melodies over so it's a longer pattern. It's in with the hi-hat and the 808 too. Just to make it a little bit longer of a pattern in general so I can add some variation to it. And then I'm going to add a roll at the end there. And also I'm going to copy the sample over so it's long enough. Oh, that's fire. Now I'm going to show you guys some special sauce here. I'm going to go into Effectrix and do... I'm going to set this to 1/8, and then I'm going to go into the X loop and do down slapper, and then so that's just to add like reverses and like a cool roll to my hi-hat. And then something else you guys can do, add 2 Effectrixes at once, and then you can change the effect. So like, for example, see how on the first Effectrix right now I'm using down slapper for the X loop. That's the only one like preset I can use in that Effectrix, so I'm going to open another one and do something like upward run. So then I can use both presets. Alright, so now one tip that I do is I solo the drums at the end just to like make sure everything has bounce and like rhythm. So that sounds pretty good to me. Now I'm just going to add some more hi-hat rolls. So yeah. Now I'm just gonna copy paste that over for the sake of the tutorial, and then I'm gonna add an extra roll at the end there. Now I'm also gonna add some light reverb and just turn it down. What I do is half the time I just put on Fruity Reverb too and don't even tweak the knobs, and I just keep it on default settings. So now with the melodies. Oh. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange it real quick. So I'm just going to send, what I do is I duplicate a pattern, so if anybody ever asks me to like change the beat or whatever, I can just go in and edit it in the first pattern. So what I do is I right click up here and hit clone, and that clones the whole pattern into another one. And then I just go through and I right click on each sound and hit send to piano roll, and then you make sure your snap to grid is on a half beat up here, and you hit shift and D. Again, that's shift and D at the same time on your keyboard, and what that'll do is it'll shorten everything to like the smallest length possible, so your sounds don't like overlap at like awkward times and stuff. Because I'm sure if you guys have like arranged beats in FL, you've run into that problem at some point where your sounds will like overlap and it sounds whack. So now that I sent everything into its separate channels, I'm going to add all of the separate patterns. And remember, I don't have to add the Omnisphere because we already have the Omnisphere melody up here in this sample. So I'm just going to go through, and what I usually do is I just click everything in at once, like this, and then one more, the kick. Alright, so now that I have everything, I'm just going to hit Control and B at the same time on my keyboard, and that'll duplicate everything out. And then here we go. I'm just going to arrange it. I'm going to turn the clap up. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is pretty much this would be the hook, and then I'm going to make the verse like 3 patterns long. So here's the verse, this and this pattern, and then I'm just going to add one more where I go like that. The thing about arranging is you don't necessarily have to have like a million different patterns and a million different switch ups and all that. As long as you just have like a good basis of a beat, then the key to arranging is just taking things out and then adding them back in at different times. Because you don't have to add a million different things. As long as you're taking it out and then adding it back in subtly, it's enough to keep it interesting for the listener. So this would still be the verse, and then this would be the hook again. And then I'm just going to end it on a fade out right there. So yeah, that is how you make a beat for FBG Wookie or Future. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, hopefully you'll be hearing music from Wookie and me soon on the way, so stay tuned for that. Also, follow my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at KBeaZyTHEGoD. I'm always posting updates on there for you guys. So if you add me on all 3 of those social medias, you'll never miss out on updates and videos, stuff like that. So if you want any of the sounds used in this video, click the links in the description for the drum kit and the mixing kit. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope I was able to teach you something about making beats. I hope you're able to learn and get a little bit better. That's pretty much it for me. If you guys enjoyed, subscribe and leave a like. I'm out.